your goal is to release weight or heal disease in the body, unreleased trauma can be a big roadblock because, as we all know, the inner emotional state and the physical health are deeply intertwined, but also because if we don't release the trauma, it is often going to come up and we will have to suppress it with things that typically aren't the best for our physical health as well. And releasing some of the trauma from my childhood has been a huge game changer for me in curing my food addiction, my addiction to also unhealthy, numbing junk foods, and many other things like social media and using all of these things in excess. I think we live in this modern world, so it cannot be avoided to be using these things on an occasional basis to deal with what is coming up inside of us. It's just about finding a balance of also letting some of these things come out. So today I'm going to share the 4 steps that I have taken that have tremendously helped me on my journey. And the first one was for me to get into an environment where I feel safe in. So I moved out from a flat share that I was living in, and I moved into my own space where I just felt really, really comfortable, and also changing my job to a job where I just really enjoy what I'm doing and where I feel safe. And that has been tremendously helpful for me in order to be able to release some of the traumas from my childhood, because if we're constantly in fight, flight, or freeze mode, whether that is because of the environment that we're living in, the people that surround us, or our working environment, then it's going to be really challenging for the body. The body needs to be in a relaxed state in order to let these things come up and release them. And then the second step for me was to really dial in and learn how to regulate my nervous system. And one of the most effective tools here for me has definitely been my breath and working with the breath. I've been practicing yoga for many years prior, but when I really grasped how much of a connection there is between our nervous system, between how calm and relaxed we feel, and between our breath, things really, I really realized that and grasped it through the experience of getting into breathing exercises and also incorporating that into my yoga practice. And so regulating the nervous system, there are many different tools. For me, definitely the most effective one has been yin yoga, where I combine that with breathing and inhaling deeply, or also some type of flow yoga, and really putting all my attention on the breath, and then also taking that practice into everyday life whenever I'm doing things like preparing food, working, driving with my bicycle to the supermarket, being in a supermarket, all these activities, while I'm doing them, also being very aware of the breath. And of course, I'm not always aware of my breath. I do have times where I'm completely caught up in my thoughts as well. And it's just important that when we realize that, when we notice that, to come back and take a deep breath. And that's so powerful. And then the third one is to also actively let the emotions that are kind of linked to the trauma come up, and to allow myself to feel them. And even though it feels uncomfortable sometimes, or usually it feels uncomfortable, it always seems to feel more uncomfortable before we actually allow ourselves to let the emotion come up than it actually then in reality is. So it's definitely always worth it to let the emotion come up. And then the 4th step takes care of itself automatically, and that is that when we truly allow ourselves to feel emotions, to feel our feelings, then they will automatically dissolve and disappear. And a book that has described to me in a very beautiful way how that works is the book that I've mentioned already a couple of times, and I will mention it again, and that is The Art of Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. And it is a beautiful book that really describes the power of letting or allowing ourselves to let feelings and emotions arise, and then how they automatically, the energy behind those feelings dissolves when we do that. And it is so powerful. It changes so many things in life. It opens up so many doors and possibilities, because all of a sudden we get out of that victim state where we feel like life is happening to us and we have no choice, we have no control, and things are just meant to be challenging, and we get into a state of creation where we realize we are the creator of our reality. We can design our life the way we want it to be. Will it take time? Yes. Will it require of us to do things that 99% of the people on the planet aren't willing to do? Yes. And still, it opens up the possibility for us to shift our reality and to create the life that we truly desire. Alright, so those are the 4 steps. I'll summarize them one more time. The first one is to get yourself into a safe environment where you feel comfortable. The second one is to regulate your nervous system through things like meditation, yin yoga, working with the breath, and even raw food has been hugely, immensely helpful for me for learning how to regulate my nervous system, because when the body needs to digest a lot of food, a lot of energy, a lot of blood flow goes into that, and then it is no longer possible for the body to focus on the other processes like regulating the nervous system so much. So just easing the digestive load from my body and putting lighter foods into my body has also really, really helped me with that. And then the third step is to let the emotion come up, also feeling the inner body, sensing it, sensing the awareness or the sensations inside the body. And then the fourth one is taking care of itself automatically, and that is if we truly allow ourselves to feel the feelings, they will dissolve, the energy behind them will evaporate. And the last thing I'll mention in this video is that another immensely helpful tool for me when it comes to releasing trauma has been meditation. And if you want some meditation inspiration, then click here to watch this video, and I'll maybe see you there. Bye bye.